Welcome back to Frontline News. I'm Javon Keys. It's now time for Frontline Business. The world is moving in a digital direction. Immediate past president of the Small Business Association of Jamaica, Hugh Johnson, is of the belief that Jamaica would be at an advantage if it had a digital currency. He says there's no doubt that businesses and consumers and their confidence would be higher. Now, he made the comment following the release of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce JCC Business and Consumer Confidence Indices on Tuesday.
But one area of disappointment for us is we look on the digital space, but we choose to neglect digital currency. BOJ is silent on it, the government is silent on it. Financial institutions have gone there, but in a piecemeal way that facilitates the interests of the institution and not really the greater population.
Meanwhile, the Inter-American Development Bank country representative for Jamaica, Therese Turner-Jones, acknowledged Mr. Johnson's remark. Now, she noted that should this be implemented, a supporting structure is needed to aid a smooth transition.
I think before we have a digital currency, though, I'd like to see a digital ID. Everybody knows that the IDB is working with the government on a national identification system. That's important on so many levels because there's so many people who are excluded from financial institutions. I mean, Tanya's response about, what is needed for access to finance, a lot of the hurdle is just determining who you are as a person. We need a way to identify Hugh Johnson from Don Anderson that is irrefutable.
Minister with responsibility for housing, Pernell Charles Jr., has confirmed that a bill to amend the Rent Restriction Act is expected to be tabled in Parliament by the end of this fiscal year. On Tuesday, he indicated a schedule, noting that the third draft of the bill has been reviewed. Now, Mr. Charles further noted that the aim is to develop additional drafting instructions to the Chief Parliamentary Council by the end of this month. He says provision within the new law will speak to several issues of concern in the rental market.
The matter of notice to quit. For so long, landlords did not have the ability to serve a notice to quit if they intended to sell their property. Now, the bill proposes that landlords who have the intention to sell their property can issue a notice to quit on that basis, further to providing the evidence of same. Another big ticket item for the proposed bill is the matter of recovery of possession, a matter which so many persons have suffered the indignity of inordinate delay in the courts.
Now, the Rent Restriction Act was last amended in 1983. $25 billion, that's how much the World Bank is calling for in COVID-19 emergency financing in order to assist some of the world's poorest countries in the financial rut amid the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the World Bank President David Malpass, before the month ends, a proposal will be made to the International Development Association IDA for the supplemental financing package. The IDA is the World Bank arm that helps the world's poorest countries. Mr. Malpass emphasized worries about the growing risk of irregular defaults among low-income countries and said the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund IMF had recommended a collective action plan to help those for the most heavily indebted IDA countries. Now on to stocks. In Wednesday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index declined by 437 points to close at under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 81 stocks, of which 23 advanced, 43 declined, and 15 traded firm. The Junior Market Index declined by 56 points to close at under 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for Access Financial Services, Berger Paints, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, Carreras, Consolidated Bakeries, and stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica, 1834 Investments, Barita Investments, Blue Power Group, Caribbean Cement Company, and trading firm were Caribbean Assurance Brokers, Diamond Trading, Epley, Fontana, and Fosrich Company. Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares was the volume leader with 9.6 million units, followed by Jamaica Brawlers Group with 8.2 million units and Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 1.5 million units. And now the foreign exchange. Now on to commodities. Oil prices dropped Wednesday after U.S. inventory figures show demand weakening for refined products as global COVID-19 cases spiked. Brent crude slid by $1.51 or 3.5% to settle at $41.64 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI fell $1.72 or 4.1% to settle at $39.98 a barrel. And that's it for Frontline Business. I'm Javon Keys. Pleasant viewing.